Well, don't you want to test them? There's gas in them. Get them suckers a time or two.
Welcome to the Haddonfield Horrors Podcast, where we discuss all things horror, from one off movies to franchises to TV series and even expanded media. I'm Mark,
Go on.
and today we're reviewing the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, released in 1986, directed by Toby Hooper and written by L.M. Kit Carson. Come on, can you give the people the plot summary?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 follows radio DJ Vanita Stretch Brock after she unknowingly records a gruesome double murder committed by Leatherface and his cannibalistic family. When the killers realize they left behind evidence, Stretch becomes their next target. Meanwhile, former Texas Ranger Lefty Enright, the uncle of Sally and Franklin Hardesty from the original film, has spent years searching for the Sawyer family. His investigation leads him beneath an abandoned amusement park where the cannibal clan has built a grotesque underground home. What follows is an over the top battle of chainsaws, insanity, and black comedy as Lefty seeks revenge and Stretch fights to survive. But before we get into our movie this week, I only have one headline for you guys, and this one is coming from one of our favorite YouTube horror channels, Dead Meat. So, um, James A. Janice and Chelsea Rebecca, as you all know, they make up the Dead Meat channel, um, channel that produces the Kill Count franchise on, I say franchise, I guess a movie, but the Kill Count like series on YouTube, which generally I would say most horror fans do like, and they like those two as like community members in the horror community, very lauded online and also IRL with actual directors, actors, things of that matter. But those two have announced a new um, competition that they're starting called Fresh Meat, which will be a short film competition, um, where people can submit their short films and like on horror short films, which will culminate with James A. Janice, Chelsea, and I'm assuming others to vote on their favorites. And those favorites that they pick will be in an anthology that will be released in theaters. Um, this was just announced like a couple weeks ago at this point. It looks like July. It was July 15th at the time of this recording, and yeah, I think I I don't remember if I sent this to you or you sent this to me, but either way, me and Mark both talked about this and how this this of a culmination of a lot of things that these two have done. Like this is a pretty neat idea. Um, Anthologies in general just work really well in in the horror genre. We already have other anthologies such as VHS. Um, there was another one that focused on like all women horror directors that I'm forgetting the name of. Um, I think that one was just called like XX or something like that. But either way, like anthologies and horror like work really well. We all have like stories like the Goosebumps series, which basically was an anthology, Tales from the Crypt. So this type of thing works in this genre in general, just because horror can stretch in so many different ways, um, and them letting newer creatives get their foot in the door by possibly putting them on, and hopefully maybe they can get their shorts like stretched into full length movies. That's kind of how it happened for David Epps Sandberg with Lights Out, because Lights Out was initially a short film and then it eventually got turned into a full length movie, which he got to direct along with his wife, if I'm not mistaken. So
Which
I think
wasn't
this.
good.
I like Lights Out. um We didn't even do that yet. We were supposed to do an episode on that one. Um,
Mm-hmm.
all in all, though, I think this is a pretty good idea coming from these two. They already have like a fan base um in the genre. Um, and as far as creatives go, who that don't seem like they kind of over like step in the community, I think for these two, this fits pretty well. But what does Mark think about it?
I like to see it, but the Dead Meat crew has announced things before that haven't fully come into fruition. So if this happens, I will tune in.
What have they done other announced?
They announced that they were going to be producing a short film. Announced that they were going to be doing a feature film. They announced something else, but that kind of all just was announced, teased, and kind of just went away. But
I mean,
this sounds
but
promising, so I
I
will.
feel like that would be different though. Them doing it versus other creatives
Yeah, but
submitting.
I if it happens, I will tune in. But I'll wait to see.
But that concludes our headlines this week. I will give it back to Mark so we can discuss whatever the hell he just had me watch.
That will be Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I gave you guys a warning at the end of last week's show that there would be a significant shift in tone between that first movie and this one. And it's insane because this is the exact same director from the first one. So you wouldn't really expect a big tonal shift, but doing some research and listening to some other podcasts about this movie, apparently the director Toby Hooper found a lot of stuff from that first movie to be comedic. Mostly he focused on the uncomfortable comedic elements of the dinner scene and the scene where they pick up the hitchhiker, and he wanted to lean more into that. I didn't really see much comedy in that first movie, so I don't know what he saw. Um, I'm not saying it's not there, but I personally didn't see it, and I also personally wouldn't have wanted, you know, this movie. Again, it had been 8 years since the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and by the time this is coming out in '86, we're on our third Jason movie. Um, we're probably we're just not- we were they were just getting Freddy in '85, so like I guess he had to come out swinging, but like, did he swing too far? Go on.
Um, I think he did. This this movie felt like a parody to me. Like this felt like a parody of if someone just took Leatherface, the family, and decided to just do something else with it. It's and that's essentially what he did. Like he just took what he made and was like, "Hey, I want to do this with these same characters for some reason." And yeah, I was definitely confused throughout most of this movie. From the beginning to like the like lefty at the damn store chopping up that damn log, and the store owner in the background is like he back to orgasming and laughing and he having the time of his life back there, and then Sketch is in the damn radio in the damn radio booth, well, not booth, but the office, while I almost said Ghostface, while Leatherface is touching her so ever so softly with the chainsaw after she been screaming for 30 seconds while he was chainsawing up some ice and beers. I'm like, girl, what are you doing? Like, I need you to leave. Actually, um, she was kind of annoying me, but we'll get to that. This movie was like really all over the place. I didn't. I What happened here? Is this
It's
is this liked?
um actually yes.
I knew it. I
It,
just knew it.
this movie has a like cult following. The
Mhm.
way people feel about this movie, the same way they feel about Army of Darkness, and
Mm.
I don't get either. Actually, well, actually, it's weird. Not to preview my cash or pass, but I like this movie.
I'm
It's
not
just
taking your opinion. Oh.
no, like I like this movie. Like if this was a standalone movie and this wasn't Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, I would enjoy it. Just like a casual watch I can put on the fucking background. But the fact that this is a sequel and these are the same characters from that first movie is insane. Because those poor ass people from the first movie wouldn't have been able to afford an amusement park in the big ass labyrinth underneath.
Did we say that they bought it?
Body, main, the lights are on. It got power. Something is happening. I don't.
Well,
And
Drayden out here winning chili competition, so I guess he probably
he's
getting some money.
he is feeding people chili.
Cartman
And
did that on South Park.
where do you think they got it from? Like it's crazy because going forward, like these two movies, these are the same characters, and it's just like okay, this isn't the letter. I don't want to talk. We can't talk about the characters yet, but like this movie's all over the place,
Like,
and
I
for it
want
to
to
be
read it as a satire, but I don't know in what is it satirizing either.
itself, it can't be satirized anything but itself because at when this movie came out in '86, we had the first two Halloweens out. You know, we were six Friday the 13 movies deep. We were two Nightmare movies deep with a third on its way. Silent Night, Deadly Night had two movies out. You know, Slumber Party Massacre had a few movies out. This was like deep into the slasher era. And I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know if they thought we had to go bombastic to stand out because no, we're one of the OGs, so we have to be different. But I think they did too much. And I think if they wanted to stand out in the slasher sphere at the time, they should have just zeroed in on Leatherface instead of giving us the entire family again. Because oh my god, the family is distracting. And oh my god, why the fuck is Grandpa still alive?
Yo,
Grandpa was
wasn't he
on his
already
leg,
like a
on
hundred
his
and
last
something?
leg. Yes. And this
Like
movie is 8 years afterwards. There's
like
no way this man
Grandpa's
should
like
still
he
be
like 120 now.
like, come on now. Like, what are we doing here? Like this, like you were saying in the text message, this feels like a parody. Like 'cause it does. But I'm just trying to figure out who the fuck they were trying to parody. It's like, come on. Like,
And I think because it's like the second movie, that's why it's even more drastic. Like I could see, not saying it would still be like that good to me, but I could see if like let's say this was like the fourth movie or like the fifth movie, and like 'cause it's just been so long, like in the franchise, like maybe it's past hands, or they just lost the plot. But I'm like, oh, this is literally the second one, and that's why the jump feels so drastic. Like this ain't like we on the sixth Jason movie, and it's just goofy now. No,
and
like we're on the second movie.
and it's crazy because this is still tame. The franchise gets worse than this. And I blame this movie for where the franchise goes moving forward up until we get to the remake. What we get coming the next two films, I blame on this because I don't know what happened. This is the same director from the first one. Like I know it's been 8 years, but Toby, you couldn't rein this shit in. So why is Leatherface? You know, let's get to this scene because I want to talk about the studio, the station scene. Why is Leatherface dancing and waving his fucking chainsaw around? What's that little two step and like the little shimmy he's doing in every fucking scene?
You know what's so funny about seeing that is when he did that, like where he would have it, like he would have it over his head and like just like shake it around. I was like, wait a minute, that's what that's what they got that from in Scary Movie 3
Yes. Yes. Yes, it is.
with the ring when she had the chainsaw. I was like, wait a minute, that was
and,
pretty funny.
and you mentioned it earlier, but that scene with Stretch in the back room, like, what are we doing here? Why, why,
That
why is this chainsaw all of a sudden a phallic symbol and now he like the puss and he putting the chainsaw away and he lying that that she got away. He was just killing people last movie. He wasn't trying to hit none of that. He was wearing wigs last movie, and now he out here trying to. That scene was so. I was like, "What's happening?"
that was one. Her screaming was I was getting annoyed after like 10 seconds. I'm like, all right, we doing too much now. Because I was honestly confused because of the way the scene was cut. Like I couldn't tell at first if like he was chainsawing her leg up and that's why she kept crying. And then I'm like, it cut, and I'm like, oh, it's just the cooler with all the beer and the ice. And I'm like, girl, get up. Move out the way. He's chainsawing ice. Like you can get away right now. But then I'm like, okay, oh, like this is sexual subtext here. Okay. And then and now it's even more weird at this point. So I'm like, what actually what are we doing here? Like what's going on? And this was a trip.
What's a scene that stood out for you?
Fucking what was his name? Was it LG? Was that
I
his?
think so.
Let me make sure I got it right. Yeah, LG, the freaking her like assistant at the radio show.
Mm-hmm.
Get, I both of his scenes when he one got like killed and he well not killed yet, but when he was getting bashed in the head like 20 times and was still alive, only for him to still be alive when we thought he was dead and he didn't got parts of his body chopped up and skin peeled off. What?
Girl,
I thought
insanity.
I really thought I was tweaking at that part. I was like, oh, maybe like maybe they're like she's hallucinating at this point. Like maybe they knocked her out. She's dreaming. I'm like, no, he really just rose from the dead with like half of his head like like bashed in. His whole face is peeled off. Parts of his body is peeled off, and was like, you know what, stretch. I'm gonna help you out before I fully die. Like, what the fuck was that? She was too calm for me in that moment
Mm-hmm.
while wearing his face.
And
That
also,
was a
like
lot.
that whole underground amusement park fight because like
It was giving WWE.
because she because what was Lefty doing? Like he was just running around and he got into a chainsaw fight with Leatherface. He fatally wounds Leatherface, and then he still kind of just like like doing shit. And then Stretch is running around and she done took she done fucked up grandma's shrine. All of a sudden we got a grandmother. Well, I guess it makes sense. And, and don't get me started on that ending scene with Stretch. Like I know we know the iconic spin and twirl Leatherface from the first movie was iconic. We did need to see that recreated here in with Stretch. The last like 15 minutes of this movie was insane, and I was just like, I am not okay with this.
That
And all,
was that whole yellow fight with her and um Chop Top was something.
mm,
That was something. But yeah, the lefty whole thing, that whole thing, it was giving me WWE and some shit Vince McMahon put together.
and going back to the chili, finding out that this man is selling his award-winning chili and knowing who he is, you're like, damn, he really they love this man chili. He didn't turn people into cannibals. They don't even know it. The chili meat's so good because they ain't never had it before because they eating people.
He said prime meat, shouty. All you need is
Um,
some prime meat.
I flabbergasted. I would be. I guess it's things they don't know. What were your thoughts on that opening scene though? The opening kill with the college yuppie douchebags.
Yeah, like when we first started, like the whole like when they were calling into the radio line, I was confused as to how this was gonna play into like the overall movie and like Leatherface and them as a whole because
Hmm.
like I said, I'd never seen this one. So coming off the first one, I didn't know how far like this was gonna be like in timeline wise. But once shit started happening, um, first when they were getting attacked, I thought I thought that was like the granddad or grandpa because it just looked like a corpse was attacking them. And then Mark tells me that was from the brother from the first movie, the hitchhiker, and I was like, oh, what the fuck? They just carry it around this corpse. Um, but they yeah, once Leatherface was like attacking in the car and he eventually like killed the guy driving. I couldn't even tell that. I had to rewind it. I couldn't tell because I was like, wait, did he slash him in the head? It didn't look like he actually slashed him in the head, but somehow he did get him. Um, the way that was the scene was cut, that was a bit weird. But why? The bridge was given the ending to Fast and Furious 6 because the bridge was not that long. When they like first got to the bridge and you saw like the length of it, the length of how far, like how long the scene was not cohesive to how long that bridge was in the movie. They should have been off that bridge by that point. It was definitely given like Fast and Furious, well, how long they was driving there. But also didn't understand like how the call couldn't be disconnected from the radio side. That I was getting, I'm like, why she's like, hang up, hang up, hang up, hang up. I'm like, why can't you hang up? I don't know. Maybe it was something. Maybe it was something at the time. But I was confused as to like why she can't just hang up or have LG, who's the operator, to hang up the
Girl,
call. Like, oh,
listen, when we get to the character section, I got a lot to say about
Miss
Stretch.
Stretch. Yeah.
But one more scene is how did Left the scene where Lefty goes to the crash site? I just don't understand how he connected that to the Sawyers. I still don't get that.
No, like he must have been there or something because
Like I still don't like. Did he overhear the? Because he was at the crash site before he heard the recording or whatever from. Like I don't get how he
Mhm.
got to that conclusion that it was them. Like what the fuck clairvoyant is going on here? Like can you please like I are there any more scenes or kills that stood out for you that you want to talk about?
Mm, no, yeah, we can move on.
Well, let's go over to our characters, and we're gonna start it with Lefty. And my first question, Twan, about Lefty: if Lefty is Sally and Franklin's uncle, why the fuck
Mhm.
wasn't he with them to go check on the vandalized graves in the last movie?
Especially
I,
being an officer.
being an officer, being the older of the three, you're their uncle. I feel like you should have been there more than them. So, like, where were you in that last movie? Is that why now you a vigilante looking for the Sawyer family? And maybe it took you 8 years. What the fuck happened? Like, did y'all not find the truck driver running down the street? They must have ate his ass. I mean, he that was a big man. They probably had a long feast with that man. But like, we know Sally was traumatized and fucked up. But what about the person who drove her away? He couldn't tell you where he was at or give you a marking of where he was at. I mean, also the big ass truck. Like, I'm just so confused why it took Lefty 8 years to find the Sawyers, and he didn't even kill him.
No, I mean, I definitely I give you a couple because it doesn't really make sense. And you are right. Like if he is like if he was like part of the family, but also a cop. There's grave robberies happening. Yeah, I don't see why he wouldn't have been a part of that or been the main one to check, or hell, even like send some of his like boys on the force to go do it or something. Because I mean, they do shit like that all the time. So it's not. It's definitely one of those things that feels unanswered coming into it here. Um, but he was just a weird guy. He was
Yeah,
so
and
weird.
it's crazy because like, I mean, I guess they're probably taking hints from Friday the 13th. Um, I think it was the fourth one when you had the brother who's coming back for revenge. Jason killed his sister in the second one. So I guess that made sense, but like this, it just doesn't make sense story wise that we were given last movie. But also, like, this is fucking Dennis Hopper. For y'all who don't know, I'm pretty sure Tawan's one of them. Dennis Hopper was like a big time movie actor from like the 50s, 60s, and 70s. By the time he got his ass to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, he kind of, he had slowed down. They weren't really casting him. But like, this is casting Dennis Hopper is like, I don't know what who was a big actor in the 2010s who kind of just like disappeared. You don't really see them anymore. Can't think of
Um,
anybody to compare it to.
I can think of somebody, but it's a good reason why he
Who?
ain't fucking Army Hammer.
Okay, no. I was gonna say like Jonah Hill or some shit. You could, yeah, like Jonah Hill for a period there, or Joseph Gordon-Levitt for a period in the late 2000s and up until the mid 2010s. Joseph Gordon-Levitt was in almost every fucking thing in all the big franchises. He was everywhere, and then he kind of, he just been laying low. This is like you getting Dennis Hopper's like getting Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's on his like downward spin. And it still wouldn't make any fucking sense. At least give the man something to do. And we know what's crazy, Tuan? This movie re-kickstarted his career. And he was back on the upswing after this.
That's funny.
And I'm just trying to figure out why. Because he ain't do shit.
Oh, he's that guy. Okay, I know who he is. He's in Blue Velvet.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Which came out
yeah, I
afterwards.
don't. Yeah, I don't. I don't know why that would have. Why this movie would have done anything, but that's something.
Yep. But
It
let's
was
move
just.
on.
He was just.
I'll go ahead.
No, just yeah. His character. He was just very off-putting to me throughout the whole movie. Like the whole like chainsaw bit at the store. Like that whole part was weird. Um, when Stretch initially came to see him and like to give him the tape, like he was being weird, and when he like was he actually trying to help her when she was like stuck going down that little like hole that went to their underground lair? Like he seemed like he was like not trying to help her and was like about to turn evil on her, like turn on her. Like I don't know, the performance was not matching what he was supposed to be doing, or like what his character was supposed to be.
Yeah, I just honestly I feel like both him and Stretch were annoying, and I didn't need both of them.
Yeah, I could have done without. I could have done without him.
Mhm. Let's talk about Stretch. As the final girl, she wasn't doing it for me. I just felt annoyed with this character, and I just felt like, honestly, if she ended up being, you know, not Franklin's girlfriend, because Franklin was too annoying to be a girlfriend of a girlfriend. If she was like one of the two friends who like the sister or cousin of the two friends who were killed, I would have gone with that. You know, the story they gave, the background they gave Lefty, if they would have given a similar or different background to Stretch, and that's how she was inserted into this movie, I would have been more okay with that. She could have been, a junior detective, and her whole purpose of even becoming a cop was so she could investigate what the fuck happened to her cousin or her sister and their friends. Like we didn't need Lefty if we could have just given that to Stretch. And Stretch could even mention like, yeah, I've been trying to talk to Sally for years, but she still fucked up. And I want to know what happened to my sister or my brother or my cousin or whatever. Like I don't know. I just feel like the way they inserted her in here with the whole radio station thing, like I get it, you want to be a news reporter, but like, girl, what are we doing? You are attacked at the radio station. You didn't call the cops. You hopped in the car and you went and you followed these people back to their lair. You followed
That
the two men who tried to kill you to their lair. After they then took your boss's body, well, not his body, they then took your boss with them to the, like, come on now. You barely got free.
was so confused when she did that. Like I was like, okay, you were spared. You were just spared. Whatever, like by through whatever freaky ass means, and you
And
think
like,
you should
go
follow
ahead.
them. No,
And it's
that
like,
was yeah.
they came after you to hide evidence. Baby, the whole studio was now evidence of some shit thing going down. Like I just don't get why that decision was ultimately made. I don't get it.
Yeah. She yeah, Stretch was she she was making some choices. Like I think I was with her really up until that point. Like Well, okay, no, she did have some issues because I'm like, wait, why are we not hanging up the phone? But I'm gonna go past that. But her deciding to bring the tape as evidence to like the police and stuff, I'm like, okay, that makes sense because technically it is like the only evidence they have towards what possibly happened here. So okay, I get that. That makes sense. And then I thought like we probably weren't going to see her for most of the movie. I thought at that point it was just going to be like Lefty's thing, which it kind of turned into, but it was kind of like they were like co-leading. But once we went back and then you know Chop Top is there, Leatherface is there, they're attacking them. I'm like, okay, makes sense, especially after the call that they got from Drayton. I'm like, okay, I get all this, and all that happens at the radio station. She gets let go. I I thought at most like Lefty was gonna come to the station and then she was gonna say what happened and then he was gonna take off, do his thing, which did happen. But I'm like, oh, she's following them. Oh, she gets and then like like it's not well, I won't say it's not her fault that she gets dropped into the lair, but it kinda is at that point. But
She shouldn't have been there.
exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like she should have sorry, she shouldn't have been there in the first place. Like there was no reason for her to. Because like, what were you gonna do? Like if let's say Lefty didn't even pull up, like what were you going to do? There was nobody else who knew about this. LG, well, we thought he was dead, but he wasn't. But either way, he was down there trapped in the underground tunnels, or whatever. So well, I'm like, what was her plan here?
I don't think Homegirl had one. And I like my final girl smart. And I just feel like
Yeah,
smart
she ain't
decisions
no
weren't being
she
made.
ain't no Sally, cause Sally was running. She was jumping out of windows and everything. Not a second thought.
Sally was trying to whoop ass and survive.
They
She,
tried to
I
make
don't.
Stretch the love interest of damn Leatherface.
Let's move on over to the Sawyer family. And we're going to start off with talking about Top. Top is the twin brother of the hitchhiker. His actual name is Robert Sawyer. Chop Top was weird, and there's a lot going on, and I get it. He was in Vietnam. That's why he got the plate in his head. But like, I didn't get why he kept scratching at it and eating the scabs and what was going on. I was very confused. Um,
He was getting a little treat.
not I was gonna say not from yourself, but when you're a cannibal, I guess that works. I, I
I ain't gonna
guess.
lie, like when he was scratching like at his head, like before we saw that he had that damn plate on before like Leatherface jumped in there, I'm like, damn, he's scratching the shit out his head with that damn with that
Hmm.
damn pick. I was like, I guess maybe it's like you get some
Phantom
braids,
Limb.
you gotta pat that shit down.
I guess something wasn't right. I'm just like, what's happening? I did like um I did like the portrayal. I will say that it's not the same actor who played the hitchhiker or Nubbins. It's a different actor, but you can tell about that actor studied the original actor, and he was given a similar performance, but also um making a difference, making it different. And we've seen this actor before who plays Chop Top.
Have we? Where have we seen?
He was the main Deadite captain in Army of Darkness. We kind
Hmm.
of saw him. He was on the prosthetics. But you've actually seen him in
I've
other
seen
Texas
him.
Chainsaw Massacre movies.
Oh, he was in the
He plays.
remakes.
Yep. I believe I don't want to get this wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's in that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. I believe. I can't
Oh, yeah,
remember if.
he's
Yeah, I can't
Drayton in
remember.
that one.
Yep, he is. Yep. Um. He's also in The Devil's Rejects, which I fucking love. But I liked his performance as Chop Top. You know, I feel like if you're gonna give us comedy in this movie, it should have just come from him. I didn't need the whole movie to be comedic. I feel like what he was doing could have been enough because that's kind of
Yeah,
what we were getting. Because that's kind of what we were getting from the hitchhiker in the last one.
yeah, I agree. I think he was like I would say out of everybody here, like he provided the best moments. Um, like as far as like the comedy went, he was providing some of the best moments here. I'd say. I didn't really mind his character, and like he felt like he fit the most in what was going on here. Probably I would say him and Drayden, but I think he fit the most for what was going on here. Like the way he like the acting overall, the character himself, him just scratching at his damn head with that little poker and then eating the bits. Like, it was so it was so over the top and silly that it did work. Uh, in this instance, it's just like the overall. But for what he needed to do to fit in with this, it worked.
And it should have just been him.
Like yeah, if it was like that, like it's and like maybe even like let's say the movie was like um not as serious as the first one, but still pretty serious, and he was just his character was just like this to break up the horror and provide those comedic bits. I think I would have been okay with that because it would I wouldn't mind it for the character, but that on top of everything else that's going on, it's a lot.
Yep. But let's go over to Big Brother Drayton Sawyer, aka the Cook. What are your thoughts on him?
I bet that I bet that motherfucking chili was good because he won. They how many? They say he won like multiple years in a row at this point.
Mm-hmm. Being them people. My God. Insanity.
No, but he was letting them he was letting them insults fly.
Girl. Gave no fuck in the world.
I was like, oh, wait, what am I watching right now? He called them cool skin napheads. I was like, oh,
He gave no fuck. He just going for it.
but um, for him to be, I guess, like the matriarch, not patriarch of the family, whenever we got left here. I mean, he had them in order when well, as much order as they can be in being a cannibalistic crazy family. But he had them in order and they listened to whatever the fuck he told them to do. Um when Lefty fucking got down there though and just chainsawed his ass. I don't know why that's just funny. And then this motherfucker like pulls out a damn grenade and just frags everybody. Like that was so random. I was not expecting that. I was like, oh, everybody did now. Everybody did, I guess.
Insane.
And I'm assuming they all gonna be back for Chainsaw 3.
Oh, they won't.
Well, now I'm confused. Let's keep going.
This version of the family is done. We don't get this back.
Okay.
The Sawyers are done. No more Cook, no more Top. That's it. It's a whole, we get new brothers and more family members in the next movie, and it's not explained. But they're
Crazy.
all Sawyer. They're all Sawyers, but they're not these Sawyers. It won't be explained, and it's gonna be confusing as fuck. But yay.
Well,
Let's
all right.
go. But who we will see next movie, but a completely different iteration of him is Leatherface. What were your thoughts on the Leatherface?
Um, it was cool that he had a little bit more personality this time, but I wasn't expecting my Leatherface to just be horny. Like he was horny on the main timeline. Like what he doing? What he doing horny on main out
Bro.
here using his chainsaw as phallic imagery for rubbing it on stretch. Like what are we doing here?
It's just I didn't get why he was dancing all of a sudden. I was like, first off, didn't you cut your? Well, I guess it's been 8 years, so I guess the damage he did to his leg in the last one could be explained away. But like, you were this shy, timid butcher in the first one, just killing people, and now you are full of energy, dancing, and also appear to be younger than you were the last movie, and this isn't the same Leatherface. It's a
Mm-mm.
it's and I think knowing that we get different versions of this character going forward doesn't bother me as much as this does, because this is supposed to be within the same continuity as that first movie. And he's completely
Somehow.
different somehow. And he's Leatherface is completely different. I don't know if they were trying to be more in line with Freddy to give him personality, but I just don't get what we did with Leatherface here. Like, I can excuse Chop Top and I can excuse Drayton because they're pretty much in line. Grandpa is in fucking line with what we got last time. The only difference is Leatherface, and I don't get why he's different.
Well, I guess I'll have to see what we're in for in the next one since he is not the same again.
Go on. And give the people the behind the scenes info and facts.
Texas Chainsaw Part 2 was approximately $4.7 million. The box office brought in at 8 million worldwide. Some interesting facts: director Toby Hooper intentionally made the sequel much funnier because he believed audiences overlooked the dark humor in the original 1974 film. Legendary makeup artist Tom Savini created many of the film's elaborate practical gore effects after being unable to work on the original movie. Bill Moseley landed the role of Chop Top after Toby Hooper saw his parody short film, The Texas Chainsaw Manicure. Dennis Hopper reportedly embraced the movie's over the top tone and enthusiastically wielded multiple chainsaws throughout filming. The underground Sawyer Lair was one of the largest horror sets built during the 1980s and combined elements of a slaughterhouse, amusement park, and nightmare funhouse. While it disappointed at the box office upon release, the film has since become one of horror's biggest cult classics and is often ranked among the franchise's best sequels. Some critics' reactions: the film currently sits at a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd. Rotten Tomatoes consensus reads the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 trades the terrifying realism of the original for outrageous black comedy and over the top gore, making for a wildly divisive but memorable sequel. Variety praised Toby Hooper for refusing to remake the original, noting that the film embraces grotesque satire and cartoonish excess instead. Empire Magazine has since called the sequel an underrated horror cult classic, praising Bill Moseley's unforgettable chop top and Tom Savini's practical effects. Entertainment Weekly ranked it among the best film in the franchise, applauding its willingness to take creative risks instead of simply repeating the first movie. But enough of them. What about us? Mark, do you cast your pass Texas Chainsaw Part 2?
Pass. I pushed play thinking that I was going to cash because there's going to be a good time, but watching it with a critical eye and watching it after watching the last one, I just don't understand how we got here. So for me, it's a pass. What about you?
And I will also be passing on this movie. I do not see myself coming back to watch this. Um, and it was just like if you listen for a while, like I'm usually here for the camp. I don't mind like the camp of it all, like some campiness in the movies, but I don't think it was earned here, nor did it feel like it landed. At least for me, it felt like, like I said earlier, it felt like it was a parody of the original, and this being like the direct sequel to the first movie with how more like grounded that was. It doesn't really land for me. Sure, like Chop Chop is interesting. There were some like little bits here and there that I did that like were funny, but the overall for what we got, it's just I don't really care for it. I don't feel. I can see how this would be a cult classic amongst people, but it won't be one of them, and it'll definitely be a pass for me.
Well, with that, we have come to the end of this week's episode. Join us next week as we review Leatherface, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Until then, good night.
If you like this episode, please be sure to check out some from the Haddonfield Horror Cemetery, where we've covered big franchises such as Friday the 13th, Halloween, and Saw, or one-off reviews like The Blackening or Hereditary. You can follow Haddonfield Horrors on Instagram and TikTok, where the host posts updates and mini reviews. Full episodes are available on several podcasting platforms, including Spotify, as well as YouTube. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please be sure to like and subscribe. The Haddonfield Horrors podcast is produced by Mark Smart, Tawan Griffin, and Elian Cordova, themed by Lethal Injection, and edited by Mark Smart.
The Haddonfield Horror Podcast is a Letter to Media production.
Should we do an intro?